welcome everybody to the most. Welcome everybody to the most must-see show, ridiculously raw, the most must-see show on YouTube today. I'm a little adrenaline rushed here this evening, so yeah, your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We got the phenom Michael Bullock. We got the twisted angel Didi Woodson. Let's try to, you know, move here tonight because we got a nice, we got a newsworthy show here tonight. I mean, all the fallout from Extreme Rules, and well, after that dumpster fire of a show last week, this one, without question, compared to last week, far better. Not the best, but not the worst either. So, Monday Night Raw live tonight from the new Nassau Coliseum, as I call it, Uniondale, Long Island, New York, on the USA Network. We started off with surprise, surprise, the new Universal Champion Brock Lesnar, along with his advocate and executive director of Monday Night Raw, Paul Heyman. And, of course, Heyman puts Lesnar over, as he's supposed to do, and announced a match that, well, I reported on our Wrestling Forum Messenger group on Facebook earlier this afternoon. A 10-man cross-brand all-star battle royale, and the winner of that battle royale will challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship in the SummerSlam. So, in the entrance as follows, in no particular order: the former champion Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Big E of the New Day, Braun Strowman, Antonio Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, and the big dog, Roman Reigns. Your typical paint by numbers promo from Heyman. They've had the same album on rotation for the last 4 years. It was like a broken record, basically. But nonetheless, Heyman is always money on the mic, and a very interesting concept to determine who would face Brock Lesnar in the SummerSlam for the Universal title. An all-star 10-man battle royale. Great field. I thought I remembered seeing Daniel Bryan's name on that list earlier in the day, but I guess not. I guess they might have removed him at the last second, I guess. But nonetheless, those were the 10 men. Solid way to start the show. Heyman, money as always, even though it is the same. It's like Aerosmith once famously sang, same old story, same old song and dance. So that's all there is to say on that. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. Let's drop some of that old school JR knowledge on this. I mean, 10-man battle royale. Heyman cuts a great promo here, and how about that 10-man field to determine Lesnar's opponent for the SummerSlam?
I mean, it's a who's who. I mean, these are the top 10 that they believe that are worthy and deserving of the opportunity, and no doubt about it. When you got guys like Strowman, Roman, Seth, Orton, guys who have dealt and had wars with Brock Lesnar, who fought with Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, those are definitely worthy enough for the opportunity. And then once you get into the other names, these are guys who are, who were either champions or have the eye of being champions, like a Sami Zayn, like a Cesaro, like a Big E. Big E had a lot of success in the singles, had a little bit of success as a mid-card champion. Now he's fighting for what undoubtedly is the biggest belt on Monday Night Raw, the Universal title. So to get that opportunity, I mean, that's great for them. So there's really nothing more to say. So like you said, paint by numbers segment, solid opener. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, this was a nice promo to start off this edition of Raw. I mean, it's pretty much what you expected when Heyman cuts a promo as he always does. But yeah, that field. I mean, it's a who's who. I mean, like you said, some of the guys have faced off with Lesnar before. Rollins, obviously Reigns, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman. But then you got names like Corbin, Zayn, Big E, who, I mean, those that want to make a name for themselves and want that opportunity to beat Lesnar at SummerSlam. So we'll wait and see later on tonight who gets that opportunity. So nothing more to say. Dee Dee Whitson, I give it to you.
Yeah, it was a good opening segment, with Heyman getting to do his normal gloating bit. I still don't consider Brock a defending champion, but it is what it is. Great way to set it all up for the main event. So, not much more I'm going to say about it. Floyd, it's yours.
And we start off the in-ring action this evening with a 6-man tag team match. Stop me if this sounds familiar. 2 out of 3 falls, Intercontinental rules. It was the Raw Tag Team Champions, The Revival, and Robert Roode. Wow, nice to see him squaring off against this dream tag team, this dream 6-man team, the Usos and Ricochet. Ricochet beats Scott Dawson in the first fall at 50 seconds. Dash Wilder gets the fall on Jimmy Uso after a shatter machine at 6:55. And when all was said and done, the winners of the match, 10 minutes, 32 seconds, thanks to Ricochet hitting a 630 on Bobby Roode. It was Ricochet and the Usos going over here. So, MF, what a way to start off the in-ring action tonight. A very solid 6-man.
Finally, they actually utilized the 2 out of 3 falls correctly. Now, I will slam them and say that was absolutely ridiculous to have the first fall in less than a minute. Not gonna help me one bit. Did not like that at all. But once you got to round 2, round 3, that was when it actually was nice to see. They worked it. They worked the timing right. They got the shatter machine, like you said, about more than halfway, and then a few minutes later, you got the end of the match. That is what you want. You want to see in a 2 out of 3 falls fight. You want to see the timing spread it out enough where it doesn't feel like we're getting where it felt rushed. I think the first fall was rushed. The second one was a little more stretched out. The third fall was a little stretched out. Everything worked. In the grand scheme of thing, I could give this 3 stars for the rating because I thought it was a good fight. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I think this is a 3-star match to me as well. I mean, the first fall, it was over just like that, and but the other 2 falls were definitely way better than the first one. So yeah, a solid match. Really nothing more to say. 3 stars is my rating. I'm just gonna toss it to Dee Dee Whitson.
Yeah, it was it was a fun tag match, and I like the post angle that we had with Ricochet and Styles, kind of continuing that little feud they got there. Yeah, the first fall too short, but they did make it up with the other 2 falls, and it ended up being very, very well done, even with everything that happened post match. So yeah, not much more I'm gonna say. Floyd, yours.
Yeah, solid 3 for the effort. Action-packed segment, enjoyable action. There were a couple of nitpicks here. They made Scott Dawson look like a tool for taking that first fall so easily. Bobby Roode looked a little out of place, a little disconnected from the program here. But enjoyable action, but it was quickly forgotten after the club jumped in. And perhaps we see the club against the Usos and the Revival, possible triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Championship at SummerSlam. And obviously, I think we're going to get AJ Styles and Ricochet one more time. I can't complain about that. I don't think any of us can. So we will give that a solid 3 for the effort. So really nothing more to say here. Let's just move on. Vintage, ridiculously raw time, cutout action, Viking Raiders squashing a couple of Hammenegers in 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Now to the surprise of the night. We had the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre squaring off against the former Cruiserweight champion Cedric Alexander. You're thinking, oh, Drew McIntyre, he's pissed, he's angry after getting embarrassed by The Undertaker and the Big Dog last night at Extreme Rules. He should wipe the floor with Cedric. Nah, honey. That did not happen. Major upset, in the immortal words of Jesse the Body Ventura. Cedric Alexander defeats Drew McIntyre 5 minutes and 44 seconds. I mean, Bullock, we had our Raw chat this evening. And when we saw Cedric Alexander get this win, we were saying, what, just as crazily as Renee Young did.
Yeah, we were basically like, what the hell just happened? I mean, when the match was first announced, we were thinking, yeah, McIntyre's probably going to get his payback and he's going to take it out on Cedric Alexander. Nope, that did not happen. As far as the rating goes, I could give this probably just 2 stars. There was some okay action in this, but it was a little too short for my liking. But also because of the upset. I'm pretty sure everybody thought that McIntyre was gonna go over and basically squash Cedric Alexander, but nope, that did not happen. So nice win for Cedric Alexander on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was, it was short, but it was, it was good because you got something different for a change. You how many times have you seen, somebody like Cedric go up against somebody like Drew? It's just, it was a different matchup. Something they had promised back when they started all this. The McMahon supposedly not in charge and letting the fans do it and everything, saying, well, yeah, we're going to have some new upcoming matches that are different. Well, we had actually got it tonight. This was new. It was different. And it kind of made up for the stupid angle they had last week with the supposed janitor thing. So yeah, I'm actually going to give it 3 stars. I thought it was a good match, even though it was short. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Florio, take it.
2.5 for me. I enjoyed Alexander and McIntyre while it lasted. And it's a match that I would love to see get some more time eventually. And most importantly, this surprise win establishes Cedric Alexander as a guy to watch. But then again, I told you folks all this 3 years ago when I was religiously watching the Cruiserweight Classic on the WWE Network. Cedric Alexander was a big player, and that's when, his rise to fame began, when he had his solid outing in the Cruiserweight Classic. When I saw him in that, I realized the potential that he had. And then 205 Live came around, and, it took a lot longer than I would have liked, but they eventually put the Cruiserweight Championship on him, WrestleMania 34, and he had a decent run with it. And now that he's on the main roster, I was worried when he went to Raw because, with Monday Night Raw, you always tend to get lost in the shuffle. Well, hopefully this win tonight will be the beginning of something big for Cedric Alexander down the road. So, nice win. Very nice win against a well-established, big name like Drew McIntyre. Well done. So, nothing more to say. MF, major upset, Monsoon.
Yeah, major upset indeed. A big win for Cedric Alexander, crushing the feat. If you're Drew McIntyre, This was a shocking turn of events. I don't think none of us saw this coming. But big win for him. Maybe that's a sign for things to come down the line. But if you're Drew McIntyre, you're thinking, what the hell? Shane McMahon got buried. You lost to Roman Reigns and Undertaker last night. Tonight you take a crushing defeat to by the hands of Cedric Alexander. I mean, what the hell is going on? What is this? If you're a McIntyre fan, you're furious right now at WWE. McIntyre is getting lost in the shuffle. I mean, this is not what you were hoping for the Scottish psychopath at all. You would think at this point that he would be one of the contenders for the Universal title. His name never even got called tonight. So, I mean, what? That's my theory about the whole thing. Nothing more to say. Anthony, move on.
Yeah. That's a great question, MF. I mean, what is going on? I mean, I thought he was poised to be a future Universal Champion, but nah, he's taking a step back. Undertaker's in his head. I think Bullock's theory might be a reality. I think we might see Drew McIntyre and the Undertaker in the SummerSlam, so we'll have to find out. Casket match, I don't know. We'll see, but let's move on. Now, I never thought in a million years, when I say the names of Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, I never thought in my wildest dreams I would call a match between these two a cutout. But unfortunately, on this night, we're going to have to. Samoa Joe defeats Finn Balor 2 minutes and 21 seconds. A crucifix win. Yes, Joe gets a needed win here. So, we'll see what happens with the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. But there's more to this. Bray Wyatt making his return. The big story here, and how he is handled in the ring and on the regular TV show was always a major question. And it will be a huge test for his character to integrate in the normal programming. And if they're able to do it successfully, maybe it could be a major hit with a portion of the fan base. So does anybody want to jump in on Bray Wyatt finally showing up?
Yes, and how epic they brought him in with the lights going out, and then you had the little flashlights in the ring strobing around. The next thing you know, he's in there, and boom! Sister Abigail, are you kidding me? This is how, you know what? From the Firefly Funhouse that they've been doing to leading up to this reveal and the return, and the way that they did this was so epic. The crowd went nuts. You heard that crowd. They popped for Bray Wyatt. Now, obviously, this is probably Bray being integrated, and you're looking at him possibly becoming a heel, which is fine, whatever. But it's just good to see him back. Good to see him throw what they did. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Well done, WWE. For once, you did something smart. The return of Bray Wyatt, and they never dropped the ball on it. They nailed it on this one. Home run for me.
Yeah.
I think he looks scarier than what he already was before.
Oh yeah,
that Slipknot mask.
Yeah, and those eyes in between it. Oof. I mean, how would you like to wake up to those eyes in the morning?
No thanks.
Same here.
I think JoJo's the only one that actually gets to see those eyes, but only in makeup and whatnot. She sees the real Bray in real life.
Yeah, I think the only reason they chose Bray to go ahead and take out Balor is because he did ask for some time off. So that's kind of where this is going. Is he's taking some time, much needed time off, and probably going back home.
to heal up some injuries. Yeah. I heard he's been dealing with a couple of injuries lately. It's not serious, guys, so don't start freaking out saying, "Oh my God, have we lost Balor again?" No. They're just gonna give him a little bit of some time. From what I'm hearing, is he should be back in time for SummerSlam. They just want to give him a few weeks off just to clear his head.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, who would have thunk that some time ago we'd be pulling up our pants and doing the Muscle Man dance, and then we get this. Oh, wow. Okay, so let's move on here. Another cutout here. Zack Ryder beats Mike Kanellis in 14 seconds. And Maria, of course, goes savage mode again. I mean, yep. And then a surprisingly entertaining 6-man. We had another 6-man tag, and I didn't really have high hopes going into this one, but this one ended up surprising the hell out of me. We had the Club against the Lucha House Party. Of course, the Club won, but they actually won 8 minutes and 56 seconds, and that match was actually a good match. I don't recall who starts here.
I think it's Dee Dee who leads it off. I think.
Yeah, I thought it was her. All right, Dee Dee, come on in. Club against Lucha House Party. I didn't really have high hopes going in, but this thing ended up surprising the hell out of me.
Yeah, I didn't have high hopes either. I was almost thinking this was going to be as bad as the Viking Raiders versus the Jobbers. But it ended up coming out to be a pretty good match, even with the interference from Ricochet and them having to restart the match afterwards. I'm actually going to hit this with 2 3/4 to 3 stars. I mean, this was really good. Like we both said, it was surprising that it was. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to say about it. I mean, they still had the commercial break when they were pulling Ricochet out. That kind of broke up the momentum. But other than that, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of complaints. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, sleeper fight of the night here. I'm going to give this somewhere between 3 1/4 to 3.5. Fun match. And it's nice to see a mid-card championship feud get multiple segments on the show. Ricochet does get involved. He gets his revenge on Styles. And yeah, I think Ricochet and Styles are headed for a return match in the SummerSlam. But man alive, that was a fun match. I mean, some great action throughout. So I'm giving this 3 1/4 to 3.5. No doubt about it. So MF, wow. Club against the Luchas. You would think it was going to be not so good, but man, this ended up being a sleeper fight of the night.
Yeah, it was. No doubt about it. I'll agree. So one of the sleeper fights of the night. But, at least at the end of the day, the right team won. The most deserving team won. I'm not going to argue that. I think they definitely deserve to win the match. This was, like I said, this was a very good match. This was a solid fight. At the end of the day, there's really nothing more to add. So, no, I'm happy with the outcome. And there's really nothing else to say here. So, this was at least 2 3/4 of a star fight. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, 2 3/4 to 3 stars for me when it comes to this. I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, going into this, we all thought that this was not going to be anything good, but yeah, I mean, this turned out to be a much better match than what we expected, and yeah, so there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Let's move on, Florio.
And we move on to a match that I know a lot of people are poo-pooing all over. I can understand. But at the same time, this next match, for me and for Bullock, stole the dang show here tonight. A fatal 4-way elimination match where the winner will face Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship in the SummerSlam. It was Naomi, Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and Carmella. Carmella gets eliminated by Alexa Bliss via the dreaded roll-up of doom, 3 minutes, 55 seconds. And then at 12 minutes and 54 seconds, Natalya eliminates Naomi similarly. And when all was said and done, it came down to Natalya and Alexa. And at the end of the day, total time, 17 minutes and 45 seconds. The winner and number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship in the SummerSlam, it is none other than, how about this? Natalya. Natalya gets the opportunity. We're going to see the Queen of the Blackhearts against the Man in Toronto. I know a lot of people are saying it was slow, it was boring, it was too long. There were some fans that were chanting, "This is awful, this is awful." You all have your right to your opinion, but for me, this to me was the fight of the night. I'm giving this 3.5 to 4 stars. This was an amazing fatal 4-way elimination match with a very surprising outcome. I honestly thought Alexa was going to go over again and we were going to get another Alexa title match, but no. Natty gets a well-deserved opportunity in a fresh matchup with Natty and Becky. There is some unfinished business dating back to 2016. You remember the Money in the Bank pay-per-view when Natty turned heel on Becky Lynch and after their match that night. So, but oh my goodness, the promo afterwards. Wow. Oof. The promo at the end, surprisingly good. So here's hoping that these two will have that same instant chemistry in the ring come SummerSlam. So nothing more for me to say on that. 3.5 to 4 stars. This to me was the fight of the night. Well done by all involved. MF, we got the Man going up against the home country girl. She's going home to her home country of Canada. Oh my goodness, what's T-Doc going to be like at SummerSlam?
I mean, that's the key factor is that Natalya is the hometown girl. She is definitely, it's a little bit of a reach between Calgary and Toronto, but Canada is heart country. It doesn't matter where it is. Montreal, Vancouver, Saskatchewan, Toronto, Edmonton. That is heart country. That is their turf. That's their home. And unfortunately, Becky Lynch, sweetheart, you are not, even though you're the Man, even though you're the biggest, you're the top girl in WWE today, I kind of feel like you might be wearing the road team colors on this one. I kind of feel like Natalya might get the home country love in this fight. So I mean, this is gonna be a great match. This is a very good match. Natalya is the veteran of the crew. She has been in WWE for a long time. This is one of those, it's a great moment for her. She deserves an opportunity. Once in a rare while, she doesn't get these opportunities, these chances at these titles. And this is one of those that it was hard fought, hard earned. She deserves it. And I can't be any more happier. I think this is going to be an excellent Raw Women's title fight at SummerSlam. And for that to happen, I got really nothing bad to say. I think she is most deserving. She worked. She's been in the company for so many years. And I think this is kind of them rewarding her for that. Could it have been somebody else? Could have been Mela, absolutely. Could we gone down the well with Naomi? Absolutely. Naomi is another one that's been underutilized a lot lately. That she deserves an opportunity at the title. Obviously, Alexa's gotten so many opportunities lately at the SmackDown title that if she went after the Raw title, I think a lot of people would have been eyes rolled. Okay, wait a minute, that's not fair. But because she didn't win tonight, that it's Natalya getting the chance of the lifetime. I think a lot of people will not be too angry about it. I don't think they're going to be griping too much about it. At the end of the day, I think it was definitely deserving. 3.5 stars for me. Definitely well deserved. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, 3.5 stars for me, and yeah, this was the fight of the night as far as I'm concerned. I mean, even though the crowd pretty much poo-pooed all over it, which I don't understand why, but you know that's their opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion, and yeah, but the action was good, and I actually told Florio this. I think Natalya deserves this opportunity. It's in Canada. I mean, and plus, I think she deserves it more. I mean, I think the crowd would have poo-pooed all over it if Alexa got the opportunity, because she's got title opportunity after a title opportunity, and if she got another one here, this definitely would have been, well, pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable. You know the shtick by now. But man, that promo, whew, man, they were throwing shade at each other, but man, Natalya really came out like a house of fire, and there were times I was like, damn, Natalya, tell us how you really feel. Whew. So yeah, this definitely adds some build to this Raw Women's title match at SummerSlam, and yeah, I mean, Becky Lynch, you may be the man, but I think the crowd may not be on your side this time, because it's Natalya's home country, and she's gonna have that advantage. I mean, I'm not saying Becky Lynch is gonna lose this one, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, I really got nothing more to say. Dee Whitson, I give it to you.
Yeah, it was definitely a very good match. It was. I will agree with the fans as far as the fact that it was long. And of course, we had the commercial break in the middle of it, or a couple of them. So that kind of broke it up a little bit. But I wouldn't go as far as to say, it was horrible. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best women's match we've had, but it wasn't the worst either. So I mean, it was good. I'm going to give it the 3.5 stars. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much more about it. It's yours, Florio.
A very interesting Miz TV segment here. The Miz, his guest, Dolph Ziggler, requested to be the guest on this show. And oh man, these two went there and then some. Dolph Ziggler especially went there. MF, I mean, we know the history of Miz and Ziggler. You remember when these two were on SmackDown Live, they had a hell of a feud for the Intercontinental Championship, culminating in a near 5-star bout at No Mercy 2016 in Sacramento. What do these two have in store for us this time?
Oh man, are you kidding me? This was fireworks. I mean, this was segment of the night for me, man. This was excellent. I mean, the heat, the passion, the fire, the zingers. No pun intended. But oh man, I was like, yo, let's go, fellas. This is what you want to see. This is what you want to want. And I actually would like to see them fight at SummerSlam. This is a SummerSlam quality thing. You build it up correctly. You let these two. You're talking about the two of the best talkers in WWE, and boy, did they lit that place on fire tonight, man. So I thought this was excellent. I liked it. So no, nothing more to say. This is my non-wrestling segment of the night for me. So Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a back and forth segment. I mean, a lot of fireworks in this, and yeah, I mean, Dolph Ziggler basically went there and said, Well, basically talking about the fame of the Miz and saying just like your wife, and as soon as he said that, it was on. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, this was definitely the segment of the night. It's good to see these two banter, knowing that in real life these two are, best buds, best friends, and to see them, take it a different direction on screen, on camera, in character. I mean, it's just good to see them work off of each other, because they can verbally work off of each other very, very well. My only wonder is, we had all this stuff where Miz says, well, I'm going to finally shut Shane up because I started all this. I'm kind of wondering where that went, because they just dropped that ball and kind of moved on. So that's my only wondering is, what we're going to get out of that. But now here we have this, so it'll be interesting to see if this leads to a match or what's going to happen with this. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. Very good promo from Dolph Ziggler that will certainly get the attention of people pushing the quote-unquote gratitude era catchphrase online. But this feud is a very nice landing spot for Ziggler and The Miz, because Miz has not been featured much lately, and it gives them a chance to cut the kind of promos that will set them up for better feuds down the road. So, well done. And yes, MF, I agree. Miz and Ziggler in the SummerSlam, very realistic possibility, absolutely. We'll see if they can give us the same kind of magic they did 3 years ago when they had that epic feud for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So, moving on. Of course, what's a week without 24/7 nonsense? And this time we had Drake Maverick in his hotel room with his wife, Renee Michelle. And R-Truth is once again the WWE 24/7 champion. For what reason, I don't know. I mean, I like Truth and Drake, but this division has surprisingly little variety despite the premise of the championship. And here's hoping that next week's Raw reunion show offers a little more for the 24/7 championship. Main event time, the 10-man battle royal. You already know the names. We're not going to go over the names again. When all was said and done, the winner of the match, 8 minutes and 33 seconds. He lost the title last night, but in the SummerSlam, he's got an opportunity to regain it. The Beast Slayer, Seth Rollins, wins the match, 8 minutes and 33 seconds. And what I liked about this, he did so at the expense of MF's boy, Randy Orton. Sorry, MF. I know how badly you wanted to see Orton and Lesnar again after that Be a Man fight they had 3 years ago. Not this time, buddy. That's all there is to say on that. So Michael Bullock, come on in. 8.5 minute battle royal. Outcome never in doubt. We all knew it was going to be Seth Rollins. I mean, hell, I read a dirt sheet earlier today saying they were going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, this comes as no surprise. So I'll give it about 2.5 to 3 for the battle royal. I mean, it was okay, but I mean, nothing really to write home about. I mean, yeah, Seth Rollins gets it done. He gets another chance at the Beast at SummerSlam, and hopefully right the wrong and regain that Universal Championship. So I really got nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, the outcome wasn't a surprise at all. Although, I can say Kevin was rooting for Orton as well to take it. I was kind of surprised with a couple of the guys that they picked to put into this match, but the match itself, it was all right. I mean, I'll give it 3 stars. But yeah, I'm not gonna say too much more on it. So it's yours, Florio.
Yes, 2.5 to 3 is the rating. Competent battle royal with a lot of star power. Crowd was very behind Big E. That's very encouraging for him. Everybody else got in their greatest hits. got the expected reaction, so the crowd played along well. Seth Rollins getting the win was the most obvious choice, but there was also a possibility. I almost thought there was a small chance that they were going to give it to Roman, and we were going to get yet Lesnar and Roman again, but who knows? Maybe there's other plans in store for the big dog. Maybe he goes after the other big belt, if you know what I mean. That's something for MF to think about. But other than that, that's really all there is to say about it. One of the better battle royals in a while, even though it wasn't the greatest, it wasn't the worst either. So 2.5 to 3. MF, I mean, I admit it. When Orton made the final 2, you got your hopes up, didn't you?
I was hoping, honestly, there's always that doubt that you never know. Could they give it to Orton, give him the opportunity? But I kind of feel like Orton's probably going to fight Aleister Black, because that's the rumor I'm hearing, that is going to be Black and Orton one-on-one at SummerSlam, which would be a good match nonetheless. But very telling. Roman speared Rollins. Accidentally. Maybe deliberately. Inadvertently. Could that lead to something down the line? Maybe Roman and Rollins maybe throwing down sometime in the near future. Where Rollins like, yo, what's the deal, man? Why, you speared me, dog. Why did you do that? And Roman be like, look, man, I was trying to gun for Corbin. That was I was trying to gun. I was gunning for Strowman or Corbin. My bad. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that deliberately. And maybe that might trigger off a little bit of a brouhaha between the former Shield brothers. So, I mean, there's a couple of scenarios you could throw at this, but for Big E to get the reaction that he did, that's excellent. I think everybody played their part pretty well in this battle royale. But with Rollins winning it, yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand it. And I understand why you want to give Rollins the opportunity right away. He lost the belt because of the Money in the Bank last night. But didn't they say no more rematches? I mean, isn't this considered somewhat of a rematch more than anything else? Didn't they say that they weren't going to give guys like that another opportunity at the belt?
Yeah, but at least he earned his way.
Automatic rematches, but Seth Rollins earned.
It's not an automatic rematch.
Well, I consider it automatic. I'm sorry. I don't care what you guys say. I feel like this is an automatic rematch. They're not. This is a nod, wink, wink. Okay, this isn't their theory of an automatic rematch, but it is. Come on, Rollins is #1 contender again. It's an automatic rematch. You can spin it any way you want it. He's getting another shot at the belt, at the Universal title. That's just my thoughts. There's nothing more to say. Florio, go.
Yeah. That's man, I don't know how to follow that. I mean, I got MF to shook me up there, but okay. Let's get to the overall review. Didi Woodson, we'll start it off with you here. Unlike last week was absolute garbage, cheap garbage at that. This week, far better.
Yeah, I'm going to actually give this probably about a 5.5 to almost a 6. Only because of the fact that we did have a lot of duds, and we also had the commercial breaks that kind of broke up some of the matches, the starts and stops, and I'm not real super crazy about this new thing they've got going where they can't wrestle during the commercial break, because this is almost worse than what we had when they were wrestling in the commercial break. Because at least when we came back, they would show us what was going on during the commercial break. Now it's just I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it just sucks. I don't like the way they've got it set up. If you want to have a new match at the beginning of each commercial break, fine. But breaking it up by sending somebody out to interrupt the match, or or whatever, I don't really care for that. It's these commercial breaks kind of make you lose the momentum that you're building up in a match, and I don't know if it affects the fans in the arena, but those of us that watch it on TV, I mean, by the time they come back from the commercial break, you've kind of the momentum for us have gone downhill a little bit, and you're just not quite as into it as much after watching a commercial break, which half the time is either food commercials or TV show commercials, or you get a bookend commercial where you have the same one at the beginning and end, and then by the time you're back, you're like very irritated. You don't want to sit there and watch it anymore. You're ready for the next big thing to come in. But at least they did do some storyline building. They did do some good stuff. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. We're at least building up for SummerSlam. That's a good start. So not much more I'm going to say about it. I will see you guys for SmackDown. Good night.
All right, good night, Dee Dee. We'll see you then. 6 to 6.5. Quite a few positive developments on this episode of Raw, including, as Dee Dee said, the mid-card getting some much-needed attention and a better-than-expected promo from Becky Lynch and Natalya. I am unconvinced that Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar can really heat up their match for SummerSlam, given their previous efforts. But I'll give it a whirl. I'll hope for the best, and I'm hopeful that, the wrong will be righted. Rollins will get the belt back, and then Lesnar can go away for a while. Hopefully he can then, go to SmackDown and be MF's problem. But, we'll have to wait and see on that. So, but nonetheless, far better than that god-awful show last week. So I'm encouraged again. So I want to keep that encouraging feeling going. So next Monday night, Raw reunion. Oh my goodness. So many legends and Hall of Famers are going to be on this show. I can't tell you how excited I am for this show next week. Tampa, Florida, Amalie Arena, home of the Lightning. Get ready, my friends. You're going to be in for one wild night. That's all there is to say on that. Hogan, Austin, Flair, Bischoff, Slaughter, Christian, Jimmy Hart. I mean,
35 names that is going to be on the show. 35 from the past and the present is going to be on the show, of personalities, from celebrities. Yeah. And thank the USA Network, because they actually was the reasons why this show is happening. I'll give that in just a minute.
Yes, a big thank you to the USA Network for that. Absolutely. I mean, that's all there is to say on that. I'm giving this 6 to 6.5, and I can't wait for next week. That's all I'm going to say. And MF, as I give it to you, in the immortal words of you and Gorilla Monsoon, next Monday night, the Raw reunion, it's going to be something else.
It's going to be happening. No doubt about it. I'm going to go with the 6.5. I'm going to go 6.5 to 6 3/4. I think this was a very good show. It was passable for the most part. At the end of the day, I kind of feel like WWE might have turned the corner a little bit. Now you're starting to see this being more of a Paul Heyman show. You're starting to see more of Heyman's emphasis being on Monday Night Raw. Tomorrow, we're gonna see the Prince of Eric Bischoff coming into play. So the excitement level goes even higher. So without a doubt, this was definitely a good show. It was solid. It worked. The pacing was all right. The way that they were doing the show looked good. I liked the way that they were doing it, and it came out all right for the most part. So I really got nothing bad to say about it. I thought it was all right. And next week, it looks like it's going to be pretty big. So USA is really trying to make Monday Night Raw a viable show, and this was one of their ideas by utilizing and creating this special Raw reunion and bringing all these legends and everybody back to have this big special event. So yeah, hopefully the show is delivers in a way that will make us say, "Wow, this is a great show." So we'll go from there. 6.5 to 6.75 for me. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a 6.5 out of 10 for me for this edition of Raw. I mean, definitely much better than that dumpster fire of a Monday Night Raw we had last week. And yeah, certainly cannot wait for next week's Raw reunion. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's time for your Tony steak.
Oh, a shortened edition of the Tony's Tape, because Impact Wrestling was really a retrospect of Slammiversary, and they threw in 2 random matches. So I'm not going to really do Impact Wrestling for that. I'm only going to do 205 Live for this week. Impact Wrestling I'll have back on next week. But for right now, let's get into 205 Live. One of the rare times I can honestly say that it was a down show. We started it off. Brian Kendrick against Sunil Singh. Brian Kendrick wins 5 minutes, 20 seconds. 2-star match. It was okay, but the Singh brothers do not need to work singles matches. Maybe it sets up a future tag team match down the road. I don't know. We'll see. Akira Tozawa, perhaps. Jack Gallagher in a squash match. He wins in 3.5 minutes. And then we had Oni Lorcan against Arya Daivari. Oni Lorcan wins the match 21 minutes and 10 seconds. 3.5 stars. Very good overall with the right guy winning. But it did lack some intensity at times, and it could have been shortened to make it a bit better. So that's all I can say on that. 6 out of 10 I can only give it for this time around. Average show, a flat opener, the horrible Mike Kanellis stuff. Thankfully, the main event was very good, and it sets the stage for Oni Lorcan as a future title contender. Who knows? So it's a 6 out of 10 for that. I'm trying to see if there are any spoilers for this upcoming edition of Impact Wrestling. And I think they've done some tapings since the Slammiversary pay-per-view. I don't really see any spoilers right now, but if I do, hear anything, I'll get back to you. But I'm just gonna park it for the night. So I'm gonna bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher, MF Cerebral Smack Talk. I believe you said it will be tomorrow night at 10:30, and a very interesting segment was announced for this show. There's going to be what they're calling a SmackDown Live town hall meeting of some sort, where all the talents are going to get to speak their mind. SmackDown Live tomorrow night, MF. I'm thinking maybe, possibly, Land of Opportunity might be making its way back in.
If this is how we do it, this slams the reset button on SmackDown Live. If we do that, man, we gonna have some fun. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Tomorrow night, actually, guys, 10 o'clock. Not 10:30, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow night, Brace Fan 95. Yes, it's SmackDown Live, the recap. We're gonna hit the ground running on that. We're gonna talk about it. What else are we going to have? Well, we'll find out. But 10 o'clock, Brace Fan 95. Immediately after SmackDown Live goes off the air, Cerebral Smack Talk comes on. And like we do each and every week, we're going to be smacking that internet right in your face. The greatest company in the world, Wrestling Forum, with the greatest panel in the world. Anthony Floyo, Didi Woodson, Mike Bullock, myself. Be there, be square. Braves Fan 95 tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. I'm out! Floyo, it's yours.
We out!
Yes, indeed. All right, we'll do, MF. I don't have a docket for Strictly Sports just yet. I'll reach out to Derek, and hopefully we'll have one come the end of the show tomorrow night, so we can plug Strictly Sports for Friday night. I know the Major League Baseball Power Ranking should be back in, and some other things, but we'll see what Derek has in store for us for Friday. I don't see anything yet, so we'll keep you posted on that. So that's it. So until 10 o'clock tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, immediately following SmackDown Live with MF over on Brace Fair 95, is your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, and the aforementioned DFMRI 401, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb Derek Ferrera. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw the Portrait 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here. It's 25 and YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.